the sun is reflecting straight down and it hit my eyeball. Sorry,
it's just the sun through the window.
It's blinding me. Blinding me.
The sun blinded you.
Yeah, see right here?
You live in Florida. It's sunny. What was that?
Hit me right there.
What is it, ricocheting off of something?
The floor.
It's like, you know how Superman, like, he gets his power from the sun?
I can't see, bro. It's the sun.
Is it the opposite for you? Like, the sun is like kryptonite for you? Like, you don't even know what I'm talking about. What is kryptonite?
It's Superman's, it's like the thing that kills him.
There you go. All right, she knows. So the sun is like the thing that kills you.
Yeah, he can't be on the earth too long.
No, but I'm talking about you.
I'm gonna close that.
Well, I mean, apparently we've been rolling for a while, but Chance is busy concerned with the sun living in Florida in her eyes. She needs indoor sunglasses, which is always questionable.
Now let me show you how. Now let me show you how the wood works.
So today, I'm going to do D.Wood's Butterballs. Yes, that's what they're called, Butterball cookies. I've never made these. I got the recipe from my older sister, Bethany. Thank you, Beth. All my sisters have been very helpful with a lot of these old recipes my mom made. But this recipe is unusual because I got it and I remember the cookies and I love them. But it calls for a pound of butter. And I know in the past we've talked about my mom's obsession with butter. But what's a pound of butter? Can you think off the top of your head what a pound of butter is? So I had to Google it. Apparently it's 4 sticks of butter, which is gross. But that's what these cookies call for. But I cut the recipe in half because she used to make batches and batches of cookies for the holidays. And it was for like the 8 of us, but then whoever was visiting, relatives, she made just cookies for everyone. Any kind you wanted, she made them. So it calls for 2 sticks of butter, which I got already in the bowl. And I'm gonna sift my dry ingredients like I always do and gonna get started. So this calls for 2 cups of flour. This is my first time making an attempt at making these, so we'll see. And it's a little salt, like a teaspoon of salt. But that's the thing with this recipe, it's not that many ingredients, so I was a little confused. So it's butter, flour, vanilla, chopped walnuts, sugar, salt, and powdered sugar. And the powdered sugar comes at the end. When you take them out, you roll them in the powdered sugar. So it's technically like not an ingredient. That's decoration, I guess. So I'm gonna sift this because this is all the dry ingredients basically besides the sugar, which I'm gonna cream with the butter. I keep looking at the recipe thinking I'm forgetting something because it's so simple, but I'm not. I got everything out, ready to go. Okay. I love it. What? I get happy with the things that are very useful in my kitchen, like my mixer. This is fantastic. Been through a lot. It's been around. Then this calls for only a 1/4 cup of sugar. So that's the other thing that threw me off. I'm like, these are cookies, but usually more sugar. But that's all it calls for. And of course, my mother's recipe, it's 1/2 cup of sugar. But we cut her recipe in half because it was too much butter, man. So I'm creaming the butter and the sugar. Gonna add the vanilla. Gonna add the dry ingredients and then a cup of chopped walnuts. I chopped them up pretty fine so they'll kind of blend into the cookies and then there'll be little chunks too. And my trusty assistant, my daughter Chance, took the butter out, set a timer on her phone, took the butter out so it would be room temperature and it could cream it nicely. She's very, very helpful today, Chance. Thank you. my little spatula. So this is, I kind of feel like you guys feel, because this is like a whole new recipe for me. But it's definitely like a cookie that I grew up loving. So I've been asking since the start of the show. I've been asking my sisters, "Do you have this recipe? Do you have that one?" So now I have a bunch. I have a bunch that she wrote on index cards. So I can't wait to continue to do, especially her cookies. So it calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla. It's all good. Don't gotta be. I don't feel like you have to be exact with the vanilla. Definitely don't want too much though. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna put half of this in there. And walnuts. I gotta be honest, I was getting a little worried when I was doing this because it kind of wasn't coming together to form a dough. It looked dry, but no, it's right. It's all here now and ready to go. Does it look right? I mean, I got my sheet pans and. What does it say? A quarter? Like a quarter size ball?
Yeah, but it says the peanut butter ball.
Okay.
Peanut blossom.
So Chance says like the peanut butter blossom. So that looks good, right?
Yeah.
And I do mine 3 across, 4 down. But that's just kind of what I do. I mean, they look like the cookies my mom used to make. So hopefully, yeah, you're definitely gonna taste one. I know you might not be thrilled because there's nuts in them and it might be healthy, but they're not healthy.
Yeah.
I had to explain to Chance, like, I mean, it's not anything like people don't pay attention, but nuts are perceived as being healthy, which they are when you have a handful. But like nuts are really high in fat. So like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is like 14 or 15 grams of fat. So it's a lot. That's basically every nut. And walnuts, I think, have one of the highest. So yeah, this is really easy. I hope I'm doing everything right. I think I am. But we'll see when they come out the oven. And then we're gonna roll them in the powdered sugar. And this will be like a great addition for me for the holidays. And of course, if anyone really likes them a lot, I would make them anytime for my kids. On request. I did some research. There's different temperatures and how long to have it in the oven. So normally cookies are 10 minutes, usually. A recipe I looked up said 20 minutes. So I don't know. I'll add that on to the end and we decide on how long they should be in the oven. But it's 325 to 350. I put my oven a little higher. So I'm at 350. I'm going to assume 10 to 12 minutes. These are going to go into the oven. Good luck, butterballs. Okay, I think they're ready, so I'm going to take them out the oven, the first batch. Kind of winging on the timing and the temperature, but I'll sum it up at the end and it will be on the recipe the way I think they should be baked. So let's take the first batch out. And there you go. I think they're done because they started to crack a little bit. So the second batch needs to go a little longer. You can see that they're still kind of doughy. So we're gonna leave those in. Okay, so they're out the oven. Here they are. They look great. Now I just have to roll them in powdered sugar, so I'll do a few of them and then I'll taste test them. This was New for me, but they came out great. I'm definitely gonna do it again as long as they taste good. Now just gonna roll a few of these powdered sugar that I sifted. I think the idea is you don't want clumps of powdered sugar on it. That looks good. See, I'm not really a sweets guy, but like I used to love these, so hopefully I did a good job. Oh man, it's like 1985. I'm like a sophomore in high school. They're light, fluffy, with a little crunch, not too sweet. Almost borderline a kind of savory cookie, but the butter, of course. Here's to you, Mom. Betty Wood's Butterball cookies, awesome. Takes me back, brings back a lot of memories. Hope it does it for you too. Enjoy. So good. I would have another one, but gotta watch my figure. Okay, so today I'm gonna make my mother, Betty Wood's peanut butter blossom cookies. I did this on the virtual cruise we had, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of the first thing I did, which kind of led to me doing this show. But I want to do it for you guys that are watching this show now. So very basic. They seem like they might be difficult, but they're not. Just make sure you don't use a whole jar of peanut butter. The recipe calls for half a cup. Pay attention to the recipe, which this is my version of it, and we're gonna show it to you, and it's gonna be online for you to get. Just half a cup of, and my mom used to use Jif or Skippy, so that's what I use when I'm making these. First, sift the flour, baking soda, and the salt. So it's kind of how I always start everything I do when I'm baking. So 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then we have 1 3/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and then you just let it snow. One of my favorite kitchen utensils. That's what you would say, right? Utensils? Done. There's your dry ingredients, done. Set them to the side. Next step, we're gonna cream the butter, the peanut butter, the sugar, and the brown sugar. So first I'm gonna get the sugar in there, into the mixing bowl. It's a half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of regular sugar. And with the brown sugar, you want to pack it in there. Good. So I take my half cup, because I'm also going to use half cup of peanut butter, but do that last, because you can use the same measuring cup for the 2 sugars, and then put the peanut butter in there. So there we go, half a cup of regular sugar. We're gonna put a stick of butter in here. Just wanna make sure I get it all. Because you miss a little bit, definitely can screw up the whole recipe. And what will especially screw up this recipe is if you add too much peanut butter. I've known some people to do that. Not good, because then you're just gonna get like runny egg cookies. Gross. This is where I wash my hands. That's one thing with some of these other, other cooking shows. You don't see people washing their hands, man, as they're doing their shows. But I do. Maybe they're those people that, never mind. Okay, so we gotta add the peanut butter. Just half a cup, and pack it in there, and then add it. That's good. Get it in the bowl. Make sure you get it all out. And now we're gonna cream that together. And here we go. You want to make sure, like I can see this, some butter that's separated. You want to make sure everything gets incorporated together. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 egg. Then you're gonna blend in the dry ingredients, half. Put half in, just estimate what half is. The rest. So that's gonna be it. Once this gets incorporated, it's done. But then we're gonna take them and roll them into balls and then roll them in some sugar. And then put them in the oven, and then you add the Hershey Kiss at the end. And this is usually I have help with this part of the process. I don't know if my help is around. Okay, I'm just gonna scrape the sides of the bowl, and then give it another 20 seconds of mixing. Should be good to go. It smells like it's supposed to smell, like peanut butter. That's it. The cookie dough is done. So now we got the cookie dough. Got my plate here, sugar. Assistant, what about the Hershey Kisses? I have my daughter Chance here is gonna help, because the Hershey Kisses have to be taken out the package ahead of time. So this is something you can do with your kids. You can do it with your kids and have them help, like, adding things into the mixing bowl. Then this part of it where you're just rolling them into balls and then do the sugar. I mean, kids would love to help with this stuff, especially because it's cookies. So I'm just gonna make sure this is all incorporated. And it is. And then, I don't have any real approach to rolling this. But that looks about right, Chen?
Yes.
I don't know what you would call this, like how big this is. Roll it in the sugar. And I do try to keep them the same size, but it doesn't work out. Not exactly. I mean, whatever the size of this is, that's what it is. I think, how many cookies does this make? Like 24, 20?
Almost 30.
Almost 30 cookies.
It depends.
So whatever, you can make them a little bigger. It doesn't really matter. I try to put 12 on a sheet. So it's kind of like, that's how I measure them. It's just kind of how I've always done them. This size, whatever this size is, it's kind of me just estimating. These cookies just always make me think of Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I make them, during the year, but Yeah, I make them whenever the kids want them because they don't ask often, but it's kind of like a special treat, you know, for them. So I always make them. They're easy to make, so I enjoy making them. Betty Wood's peanut butter blossom cookies. Yeah. And we'll turn the oven light on. Just about 10 minutes. And they'll be ready. Don't leave your kitchen. Don't go do something else because you'll have some burnt cookies. Don't do it! Okay, so the cookies are ready. One batch is ready, and I'm gonna just demonstrate how to put the Hershey Kisses on, which is really easy, and then I'm gonna have them cool and they're ready to be eaten. Okay, so I'm gonna take this batch out. There you go. They look fantastic. They smell great.
They smell amazing.
Yes. Thank you, Chance. So you wanna just take these and push them down. Just so they sink in and set. How to kind of tell when these cookies are done is when they start cracking like this. It's when they're done. You don't want to overcook them because then these get dry really easy. Okay, so I'm gonna move these behind me and take the other batch out. As you can see, they look great. I like these cookies. I'm not a fan of these things. I don't really like chocolate, so that might seem weird to people, but I don't. So I would take the Hershey Kiss off and then eat the cookie. I do love peanut butter and almond butter. I guess you could make these with almond butter too. Little variation. I'm gonna switch these out because the other ones came out first. And then after you get the Kisses on there, just take them off the pan and put them on a cooling rack. I love making these cookies. They're easy to me, so I think you guys will all easily be able to make them, have them come out great, especially for the holidays. They're awesome. I mean, peanut butter and chocolate. Right? And that's it. Betty Wood's peanut butter blossoms, done. Do it at home, do it with your kids. It's a nice family time all together. They're fantastic.
What the heck was that?
I don't know.
The wood works.